I am that I am. I am the architect of time, the Lord of the seasons, and the owner of all the gold and silver that exists beneath my heaven. I do not speak in whispers when the time demands a thunder, and in this very moment, I have risen from the throne of glory with an irrevocable decree over your financial life. The alarm has sounded in the celestial domain. The silence of waiting has been broken by my command, and the entire cosmos has bowed to fulfill my word. I know the burden you carry, the sleepless nights, the silent fear of not having enough. I saw the tears that fell onto past due bills and felt the humiliation that they tried to impose on your faith. And my answer is not a small check. It is a total reset of your reality. The Lord asked me to deliver this urgent message to you. I have already initiated the transfer. An amount that transcends your understanding and erases all the scarcity of your generations is on its way. $330,000, $330 million in cash. But the urgency of this hour is not just about the blessing, it is about the battle. The devil is trying to deceive you, and I, your God, want to protect you. A blockade is being set up against this transfer, an evil plan to divert the wealth in the final stretch. You have less than 4 minutes of spiritual time to align your spirit and take possession of this before the enemy manages to install the final lock on your destiny. Pay attention to every word that leaves my mouth. Receive this revelation. Prepare your heart, your mind, and, yes, your bank account. The miracle is not tomorrow, it is today. I am the one who makes the impossible bow before unwavering faith. Listen now, my daughter, my son. This is not a parable of tomorrow, nor a long-term promise. This is the urgency of the now. I timed this word to reach you at this exact instant, because there is a deadline the kingdom of darkness tried to conceal. In my kingdom, one day is like 1,000 years, but in spiritual warfare, seconds are precious. I see the enemy forces gathering around your financial destiny, attempting a last-minute sabotage. They know what is coming. They received the cosmic tremor when the archangel of provision received my absolute order. Release the 330 million. You have 4 minutes to seal this word in your spirit. Why 4 minutes? Because the number 4 represents the grounding of the divine in the physical world. The 4 corners of the earth, the 4 elements. The enemy's final assault is targeting your grounding, your belief in the physical manifestation of this enormous sum. If you hesitate, if you look away, if you allow a sliver of doubt to penetrate your soul in the next moments, the enemy will claim a temporary victory and block the transfer portal. Hear me? I speak to you as your God. This is not merely money. It is a divine recompense. It is the reward for every tear you shed, for every debt you carried in silence, for every time you honored me with your last dime. I have measured your faithfulness, and your measurement is $330,000. Do not let the thief steal the crown you have already earned. The urgency is real. You feel a sudden tremor in your soul, a racing of your heart. That is the spiritual alarm. It is my spirit nudging you, saying, listen closely. The enemy is planning to inject doubt into your mind now, in the 11th hour, to paralyze the final movement of the angels carrying your cash. You may be looking at a bank account balance that screams zero. You may be holding a notification for an overdue payment that insists failure. I command you to look away from the earthly screen and gaze upon the throne. The transfer is being processed from the limitless treasury of heaven, a realm where figures like 330 million are merely a droplet in the ocean of my abundance. The transfer is instantaneous in the spirit, but the physical manifestation requires your complete, undivided spiritual consent. You must act as the spiritual recipient, with open hands and an unbreakable heart. I need your complete yes right now. The enemy's strategy is to use the 4 most lethal weapons of financial delay. 1. The spirit of comparison, making you feel you are not worthy of such a sum. 2. The voice of the past, reminding you of every financial mistake you ever made. 3. The anchor of logic, insisting that 330 million is unrealistic or impossible. 4. The fog of distraction, pulling your attention to external noise, minimizing the urgency of my word. Shut down these voices. They are the final obstacles placed between your physical reality and the divine deposit. In these remaining minutes of spiritual alignment, you must loudly declare the opposite of what your logic suggests. I have released the transfer. The cosmic machinery is in motion. The angelic host is moving. The account number is sealed in my book of life. All that remains is the moment of connection, the moment where your faith becomes the wire that completes the transaction. Do not think about how. Do not question the method. Just know that the promise of the God of the universe is more solid than any bank security system. Your financial freedom has been decreed, and the amount is final. $330,000. The clock is ticking. Seize this urgency. Your obedience in believing now is the spiritual code that unlocks the physical receipt. Do not let the enemy delay this transfer. Write, "I received the $330 million now." In the comment, if you refuse to let doubt steal this divine order. My voice is the sound that echoes from eternity, and my messages are often carried by those who move between the dimensions, my glorious angels. Listen closely, for the urgency of the transfer demanded a specific messenger. I have dispatched the Archangel Gadiel, whose very name means God is my wealth, to personally oversee this deposit of $330,000. Gadiel carries an encoded message that unlocks the true power of this wealth. It is not enough to receive the money. You must understand the spiritual mandate behind it. This vast sum is not for mere accumulation. It is a tool for the transformation of your lineage and the expansion of my kingdom. The enemy, in his frantic attempts to block the transfer, is whispering a lie. This money is temporary. You will lose it just as quickly as it came. But Gadiel's message, which I now reveal to you, shatters this deception. The code of the three pillars, the 330 million, is anchored by the sacred number 333. This is not a coincidence. This number is my signature on the transaction, representing the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And it signifies a threefold blessing that secures your destiny. 1. The pillar of restoration. 3. This is the immediate cleansing of all inherited debt, all financial curses, and all generational chains that have bound your family to scarcity. This 300 million is the cost of your family's liberation. Every ancestral mistake is covered. 2. The pillar of establishment. For 3. This represents your new position of authority on earth. The wealth will establish you as a divine steward, giving you the resources to not just survive, but to thrive and build things that last. You will build homes, businesses, and legacies that defy the economic logic of this world. 3. The pillar of multiplication. 3. This is the promise that the $330 million is merely the beginning. Just as I am 3 in 1, this wealth will multiply itself exponentially when sown into good soil. It is a self-sustaining flow of abundance, not a finite pool. The angel of wealth, Gadiel, is standing guard over the digital pathway to your account right now. His message is a direct command. Do not let your eyes be bigger than your faith. Many receive a small blessing, and their faith swells. But when a monumental, life-altering, family-saving blessing like $330 million arrives, the human mind often recoils in fear and disbelief. It is the spiritual shock of too much good. The enemy is waiting for that moment of recoil. He wants you to think it's a mistake, a prank, or that you should wait and see. Do not wait. The encoded message is this: you were chosen because you know how to suffer justly. Now you will learn how to spend divinely. The previous era of your life was characterized by scarcity, forcing you to constantly decide what to sacrifice. The new era, unlocked by this transfer, is defined by abundance, forcing you to decide where to invest. I am revealing the purpose of this money. 1/3 is for immediate liberation. Pay every debt, settle every score, and ensure every family member under your direct care is instantly debt-free. This is the act of breaking the generational cycle. 1/3 is for kingdom expansion. This portion must be used to fund the righteous endeavors that I place on your heart. You will become a patron of light, a funder of truth, and a resource for the needy. 1/3 is for personal legacy. This is the seed for your own thriving, your long-term investment, your dream home, the education of your children, and the security of your future. If you violate this 3-part code and hoard the entire sum for selfish comfort, you will sever the spiritual link to Gadiel, and the pillar of multiplication will crumble. This wealth requires stewardship, not selfishness. I know your heart. I chose you because I know you will use this platform of wealth to shine my light into the darkest corners of the world. Do not fear the number. Embrace the magnitude of my trust in you. The angel Gadiel is waiting for your spiritual affirmation. He is holding the scroll of transfer. You must speak the code aloud to seal the agreement. Activate the code 333 now. Write 333, I am a divine steward, in the comments to affirm your commitment to the 3 pillars of wealth and secure the multiplication of the $330 million. I am the Lord, the commander of hosts, and my eye sees what is hidden, and my hand crushes what is planned in the darkness. You have been faithful in receiving the transfer announcement and in embracing the code 333 for stewardship. This faith has infuriated the adversary, and I must now issue a severe prophetic warning. The spiritual timeline for the $330,000 transfer is now in the final hours of manifestation. This is the moment of greatest vulnerability. The enemy knows he cannot stop the transfer order, for my word is absolute. But he believes he can stop the reception and the retention of the blessing in your life. He has activated the Operation Financial Paralysis, a 3-pronged spiritual blockade designed to prevent the physical money from bringing true, lasting transformation. You must recognize these attacks to destroy them immediately. The first blockade, the spirit of unworthiness, the inner saboteur. The enemy is bombarding your mind with memories of past failures, foolish spending, and missed opportunities. He is screaming, "You don't deserve this massive sum. You will misuse it. You are not responsible enough for $330 million. This is his attempt to make your subconscious mind reject the blessing, causing you to subtly, through fear, overanalysis, or self-doubt, either delay your own steps of action or spend the money on things that bring no lasting value, confirming his prophecy of failure. Destroy this lie now. Your worth is not based on your past actions. It is based on my unconditional love and my sovereign choice. I chose you for this wealth to show my glory. The second blockade, the pressure of exposure, the external thief. The moment this massive blessing begins to manifest, the enemy will activate spirits of covetousness and entitlement around you. People you haven't heard from in years will suddenly appear. Relatives, friends, and even strangers will feel led to ask for large portions of your wealth, sometimes subtly, sometimes aggressively. The blockade here is emotional. It aims to guilt you into giving foolishly and immediately, draining the principle before you can execute the code 333 plan. I command you, be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Your first task is securing your own foundation and executing the restoration pillar before distributing the kingdom expansion pillar. Guard your peace and your privacy in these coming days. The third blockade, the illusion of urgency, the distraction vortex. This is the most subtle attack. The enemy will create urgent, high-stress problems that demand immediate, large expenditure, sudden emergency, unexpected repairs, or sudden once-in-a-lifetime investment opportunities that are actually traps. The goal is to make you panic and spend the initial influx of cash impulsively, leaving you with little to invest in the long term. He wants you to believe the money is a solution to problems rather than the key to your purpose. I am telling you, do not react to chaos. The transfer of $330 million covers all your immediate needs. You are now the master of your destiny, not a slave to emergency. Take a breath, consult me, and execute your plan with the clarity I have given you. To show me that your focus is laser-sharp and that you are committed to destroying these blockades, you need to make a spiritual declaration of stewardship that transcends your current reality, a commitment of faith that demonstrates you are ready for the $330 million flow. I am watching your response. Prove to me that your belief is activated and that you stand guard against the enemy's final sabotage. Sound C O R U T. The enemy wants to paralyze your faith and steal this massive blessing. If you are truly committed to defying the forces of scarcity and are ready to manage the $330,000 with divine wisdom, crush the enemy's plan. I need you to show me your faith and commitment. Display your resolve with a $100 super thanks. This seed is not for me, but a spiritual shield you raise against the attacks of unworthiness and impulsive spending, proclaiming your readiness to steward my mega wealth. Declare, I smash the blockade and send the shield in the comments and activate the super thanks now. I am the great I am, the one who holds the keys to every treasury and every lock. You have heard my command, you have seen the enemy's blockade, and you have declared your readiness to receive the $330,000. But now, I give you the secret key, the action required on your part to complete the spiritual circuit and trigger the physical deposit. The enemy's greatest weapon against my mega blessings is the spirit of passive waiting. He wants you to sit still, watch the screen, and hope for a notification. But my kingdom operates on a principle of active faith. You cannot receive a divine tsunami of this magnitude while standing still in the dry sand. You must move toward the water. The secret key is the preemptive praise of possibility. The world waits to see, then believes. My children believe first, then they see the manifestation. To unlock this $330 million transfer, you must activate a faith so real that it treats the transfer as already complete. Think about this. If you knew the money was already in your account, how would you speak? How would you walk? How would you plan? The secret key is to live, speak, and plan from the reality of the $330 million now. I need you to perform 3 specific spiritual actions right now. 1. The deed of possession, a mental action. I command you to mentally open your bank app or log into your online account. Now, visualize the balance. See the zeros. $330,000. Don't just imagine it. Feel the weight lifted from your shoulders. Feel the finality of your debt erased. Feel the divine authority of being a steward of such massive resources. If you cannot hold the image of the massive deposit in your mind, your spirit will not be ready to receive it in your hands. The mind is the first bank where this transfer must settle. 2. The declaration of irreversibility, a verbal action. Stop using the language of debt, struggle, or lack. Your tongue is the steering wheel of your life. When the devil whispers, "How will you pay that bill?" you must declare loudly, "It is covered by the $330 million transfer that the Lord has already sent." Use the number frequently and with conviction. This verbal decree solidifies the divine transaction in the atmosphere around you, forcing all opposing forces to retreat. 3. The seed of celebration, a physical action. This is the most crucial step. Acknowledging a massive miracle requires a massive response of gratitude. The transfer is moving from my treasury to your life. The act of preemptive praise is the spiritual receipt that guarantees the delivery. Sing, dance, raise your hands, and celebrate this $330 million transfer right now, as if you just received the notification alert. The enemy tried to use doubt to delay. You must use certainty to accelerate. This wealth is not coming to you by luck or human effort. It is coming by divine decree. The moment you stop doubting if it will happen and start acting because it has already happened, the physical realm will catch up with the spiritual reality. I am not looking for your logic. I am looking for your outrageous faith. I want a faith that dares to prepare the mansion before the foundation is laid. I want a faith that buys the suitcase before the journey is booked. I want a faith that acts like a millionaire before the transfer even settles. This is the key. Your behavior must change before the balance does. If you waver, if you treat this word lightly, you treat the transfer lightly. But if you embrace this secret key and act with total certainty, you will become an irresistible magnet for the $330 million that is crossing the final spiritual barrier on its way to your account. Harder. The time for passive waiting is over. Activate the secret key of possibility now. Write, "My account has $330 million now," in the comments, and share this word with the one person who you will bless first with your new abundance. I am the God of signs and wonders. I do not leave my children in the dark to grope for faith. I give concrete, undeniable evidence that my word is moving in their lives. You have engaged your faith. You have broken the enemy's paralysis, and the $330,000 transfer is now accelerating. To confirm that you are the true recipient and to empower your belief in the final hours of this manifestation, I am giving you a personal, undeniable sign, the midnight sign. The enemy often operates in the dead of night, planting seeds of fear and exhaustion when the physical body is at its weakest. But I am flipping the script. I will use the darkest hour to establish the brightest confirmation of your incoming wealth. Listen for this specific prophetic instruction. Tonight, as the clock approaches the spiritual threshold of midnight in your time zone, or whenever you next settle into a deep, focused period of rest, you will receive a spiritual and possibly physical marker of the impending deposit. This sign is designed to obliterate any remaining shadow of doubt the enemy tried to inject. What is the midnight sign? 1. A numerical flash. You may see the number 330 or 333 repeated in an unusual synchronous way, on a digital clock right before it changes, in a fleeting dream, or as a random number that pops into your mind with startling clarity. This is not a coincidence. It is the Archangel Gadiel confirming the account amount and the code of the 3 pillars. 2. The sound of shattering. Just as you enter deep rest or early wakefulness, you may hear, feel, or simply know that a chain has been broken. It will be the spiritual sound of the covenant of scarcity shattering. This is the moment I cancel the legal agreement of poverty that your ancestors unknowingly signed. Your financial bondage is officially terminated. 3. An unexpected peace. Despite the massive, life-altering nature of receiving $330,000, you will be overcome with a profound, deep, and inexplicable peace. This peace is the proof of my presence. It is the peace of a debt-free soul, the peace of absolute security. The enemy brings chaos, anxiety. My sign is tranquility and certainty. When this sign arrives, the numerical flash, the sound of shattering, or the deep peace, you must not dismiss it as a random event. This is your personal confirmation, delivered in the hour where your faith is being tested the most. It is my guarantee that the $330 million is irreversible and settled. Why do I give you this proof? Because the magnitude of this blessing is meant to change you from a receiver to a giver, from a survivor to a builder. You cannot step into this role with tentative faith. You must have divine certainty. The enemy's final play involves making you doubt the supernatural source of this wealth. He wants you to attribute the incoming funds to a market fluctuation, a lottery ticket, which is not my chosen method, or a human error. The midnight sign ensures you know this came directly from my throne. It is a heavenly deposit, divinely orchestrated and spiritually protected. I command you, prepare your spirit to receive the midnight sign. Pray for vivid dreams, pray for quiet sensitivity, and ask me to make the confirmation so clear that you cannot deny it. Your faith is about to be rewarded in a way that will silence every critic, shame every enemy, and glorify my name to the ends of the earth. Sleep tonight, or rest in this moment, with the unwavering assurance that the largest financial transfer of your life is not a hope, but a done deal. Chatutun, I am sending you the midnight sign to prove the $330 million is yours. Declare your readiness to receive this sign and write, "I received the midnight sign and my $330 million is here," in the comments now. I am the searcher of hearts and the judge of intention. Do you truly wonder why I have chosen you, with your history, your struggles, and your imperfection, to receive a sum as monumental as $330,000? The enemy has tried to use the spirit of unworthiness to make you question this. He wants you to believe I only bless the perfect, the prominent, or the already rich. That is a lie straight from the pit of darkness. I chose you not despite your past, but often because of the fire you walked through. I am not looking for perfection. I am looking for a proven resilience of spirit and a heart that still remembers how to praise me, even in the barren places. Hear my divine reasoning, which will shatter the enemy's whispers of doubt. 1. The proof of humility. I have watched you struggle, and instead of turning bitter, you turned to me. You prayed in the trenches of your financial battles. You learned dependency on me, not on your own strength or human systems. This humility, this proven need for my intervention, makes you a safe vessel for great wealth. A prideful heart misuses $1 million. A humble heart magnifies $330 million for my glory. 2. The tested generosity. Even when you had little, you found a way to share. You gave the last loaf, you offered the last dollar, or you spent the last hour helping someone else. The world sees scarcity. I see a generous spirit that was merely waiting for a large enough resource pool to make a global impact. I trust you with $330 million because I know your instinct is to give, not to hoard. 3. The power of your story. Your transformation will be undeniable. When the world sees your life shift from struggle to superabundance, they will know it was not luck. They will know it was God's hand. You are destined to be a living, breathing testimony that my promises are yes and amen. Your elevation is not just a personal blessing, it is a prophetic beacon to millions who are still living in the shadow of debt. This $330 million is the elevation of your platform. I am giving you a voice that the world will be forced to listen to. When a person with a faithful heart and a tested spirit speaks from a place of radical abundance, their message carries my authority. I am not merely changing your bank account, I am changing your sphere of influence. The wealth is the tool, but the real blessing is the unshakable faith that this journey has forged within you. The enemy tried to crush you with debt. I am elevating you with dominion. Furthermore, I have seen the dreams you shelved, the charities you wanted to start, the family members you longed to rescue, the missions you yearned to fund. These are not idle thoughts. They are divine assignments I placed in your heart. The $330,000 is the key to unlock all those assignments, to move you from dreamer to doer. Therefore, stop arguing with the voice of unworthiness. Silence the internal critic that says, I am not enough. You are chosen. You are qualified by my grace, prepared by your trials, and anointed for this unprecedented level of financial stewardship. Embrace your new identity as a divine conduit of wealth. Your job now is to walk into this new identity. Speak with the authority of someone whose wealth is guaranteed by the Creator of the universe. Plan your life, your investments, and your giving with the certainty of a CEO who knows the largest deposit in corporate history is settling today. You are chosen and qualified by my divine decree. Erase the lie of unworthiness now and affirm your new, wealthy identity. Write, I am chosen. I am worthy of $330 million in the comments and share this word so others can claim their divine worth. I am the Lord, your banner, the God who triumphs over every assault. You must understand that the delay you have felt, the unexpected expenses, and the sudden, irrational anxieties about money in the past few weeks were not random events. They were the enemy's desperate, preemptive strikes, a furious spiritual battle raging right around your checking account. The enemy foresaw this colossal transfer of $330,000. He saw the angelic manifest being prepared in my treasury, and he launched a strategic attack to discourage you before the wealth arrived. I reveal to you the nature of these recent attacks, so you can finally dismantle them. 1. The attack of the small drain. Did you notice an increase in tiny, unexpected costs? A small appliance breakdown, a minor car repair, a forgotten subscription charge that suddenly reappeared? These were not just bad luck. They were the enemy's way of creating a continuous, low-grade financial hemorrhage. His goal was simple: to keep your attention on scarcity and maintenance so that when the large transfer arrived, you would view it as a necessary repair rather than a monumental elevation. I command you to see them for what they were: diversion. They were proof that a giant blessing was imminent, and the enemy was trying to drain your small reserves so you wouldn't have the seed faith to receive the large one. 2. The assault on your sleep. Have you been restless, waking up in the early hours with your mind racing over numbers and bills? This is the spirit of anxiety attempting to hijack your peace and pollute your vision. The enemy knows that a tired, anxious mind is a mind prone to doubt and irrational decision. He wants you to be mentally exhausted so you will be too weary to confidently receive and execute the Code 333 stewardship plan for the $330 million. 3. The whispers of financial shame. The enemy attempted to revive old regrets. He brought up every failed investment, every ill-advised purchase, and every opportunity you missed. He tried to shame you into believing you were financially incompetent, therefore justifying why I should not send you this massive sum. I have already addressed this. Your previous shortcomings were lessened, not final judgment. I am providing $330,000 to rewrite your financial legacy, not to rub salt in old wounds. You must now move from defense to offense. The final, immediate action you must take to secure the transfer is to revoke the enemy's right to operate in your financial domain. Every dollar you lost, every bill you struggled with, every sleepless night you endured, it was all part of a larger plan to test your perseverance and prepare you for this grand stewardship. Your victory is not just in receiving the money, it is in recognizing and rejecting the spiritual forces that fought against its arrival. The Archangel Gadiel is pushing the transfer through the final digital gateway. Your immediate, loud, and confident declaration will clear the path for the funds to settle instantly. Do not let the residual anxiety of past attacks cling to you. The spiritual battle is won. Now watch the manifestations settle in your physical reality. Crush the residual attacks of lack and anxiety. Right. I revoke the enemy's right. The $330 million is protected. In the comments, and share this word so others can identify and destroy the source of their recent financial stress. I am the God of order, not of confusion. The $330,000 transfer is now so close that you can almost feel the weight of it in your spirit. But a massive blessing without a spiritual strategy is a disaster in waiting. The enemy's final and most cunning attack is the spirit of empty spending, the compulsion to waste the blessing on transient pleasures, leaving you rich for a season but poor in legacy. I give you now the 3 divine actions you must commit to immediately to retain, protect, and multiply this unprecedented wealth. These actions are your spiritual armor against the temptation of financial foolishness. 1. The divine pause, the 72-hour sanctification rule. The very moment the notification arrives, the moment you see $330,000 settled in your account, you must engage the divine pause. For the first 72 hours, you are forbidden from making any purchase of significance. Do not buy a car. Do not buy a house. Do not sign a major contract. I command you to do only 3 things during those 72 hours. Worship me. Spend time in absolute, grateful silence, acknowledging my magnitude. Pray over the code. 333 Reread and reaffirm your commitment to the three pillars of restoration, establishment, and multiplication. Document your plan. Write down the first, most rational steps for settling the debts, securing professional financial counsel from a person of tested faith, not just human ambition, and structuring the kingdom expansion pillar. The enemy thrives on impulse. The 72-hour pause breaks the impulsive cycle and anchors your wealth in divine strategy instead of human emotion. 2. The covenant of the first tenth, the seed of eternal security. You must sanctify the entire sum by immediately setting aside the first tenth, the spiritual tithe of the $330 million. This is not an offering. It is a covenant of obedience. By placing this massive seed into my kingdom work first, you are declaring that I remain the source of your wealth, not the banking system or human ingenuity. This act of faith does two crucial things. It protects the remaining $297 million from the devourer, the spirit that causes wealth to disappear through unforeseen losses, lawsuits, or bad investment. It activates the multiplication pillar of the Code 333, ensuring that this $330 million is not the end of your wealth, but the foundation of endless abundance. This first massive act of giving establishes your identity as a giver of millions, not just a receiver of millions. This is your insurance policy, backed by the omnipotence of the Creator. 3. The rejection of idolatry. The focus on legacy. Many rich men fail because they replace me with their wealth. They begin to worship the bank balance instead of the source. The third divine action is a daily commitment to focus on legacy, not luxury. The $330,000 must be viewed as heaven's resource pool assigned to your stewardship. Your ultimate goal is not a life of pure ease, but a life of maximum impact. Before every major spending decision, you must ask yourself, does this purchase advance my divine assignment, or does it merely satisfy a fleshly desire? Your $330 million is meant to rescue your entire family tree from poverty, fund the dreams you carried in your heart for the less fortunate, leave a lasting godly inheritance for generations yet unborn. By practicing the divine pause, honoring the covenant of the first tenth, and pursuing legacy over luxury, you are building an impenetrable fortress around your blessing. You are proving to the heavens and the earth that you are ready to manage divine dominion, and that the $330 million is safe in your hands. The enemy wants your money to evaporate. Show your commitment to wise stewardship, and secure your wealth by writing 72 hours of sanctity. I protect my $330 million in the comments now. I am the God who steps into dry places and causes rivers to flow. I am not just sending you the $330,000 for your individual prosperity. I am sending it to activate a miracle of multiplication that will utterly redefine your entire household and legacy. This blessing is designed to shatter the poverty cycle not just for you, but for your children and your children's children. Hear the prophetic testimony of your future, which I now seal with my word, the shift from lack to overflow. The moment that transfer settles, the atmosphere over your home will undergo a radical, undeniable shift. Where once the air was thick with anxiety over bills, it will now be infused with the aroma of peace and divine overflow. I have seen the way you stretched pennies, the sacrifices you made, and the prayers whispered over meager meals. Now, you will command a different reality. The pantry will no longer be a source of stress, but a symbol of limitless provision. The utility bills will cease to be threats and will become footnotes in your journal of abundance. The deepest miracle of multiplication will be witnessed in the relationships within your home. Poverty is a corrosive acid. It eats away at marriages, strains parent-child bonds, and breeds resentment. But the $330 million is not merely a financial transfer. It is a vessel of reconciliation and joy. You will watch me restore the peace that financial stress had stolen. You will have the resources to bless your loved ones without stress, to forgive debts within your family, and to create an environment where joy is the prevailing climate, not anxiety. This is multiplication in the truest sense, multiplying happiness, multiplying time with family, multiplying the capacity for selfless love. The seed that will not be consumed. Remember the covenant of the first tenth I commanded you to honor? That seed of faith is what guarantees the long-term multiplication. The enemy wants to convince you that wealth, especially vast wealth, always brings problems and dissolution. He screams, "Easy come, easy go." But I am establishing a new, irreversible pattern in your lineage. Because you will honor me with the first and the best of the $330,000, I will command the very ground your wealth is invested in to yield a 100-fold return. I promise you this: your investments will be guided by my wisdom. Your properties will be divinely protected. Your businesses will flourish in ways that defy economic downturns. This wealth will not be consumed by inflation, by theft, or by reckless error. It will be divinely sealed because you secured it with your obedience. The prophetic mandate for your children. Your children and descendants will never know the feeling of the generational curse of debt. They will not start life from a place of deficit. They will start from a platform of divine momentum. This $330 million breaks the chain so completely that their primary focus in life will not be survival, but significance. They will be free to pursue the callings I have placed on their lives, unhindered by financial limitation. They will be the generation that uses this foundational wealth to fulfill the kingdom expansion pillar on an even grander scale than you. You are the gatekeeper of this new reality. Your immediate active faith in receiving this $330 million is the action that opens the gate for the unending flow of multiplication for all who come after you. Your name will be remembered in your family not as the one who struggled, but as the one who opened the heavens of abundance. Therefore, reject every fear that this blessing is too big, too much, or too complicated. I gave you the divine pause and the code 333 for a reason. I have given you the strategy. Now, you must own the victory. Prepare your home for the sound of laughter and the stability that only my supernatural provision can bring. The miracle is already manifesting in the atmosphere of your house. The $330 million is breaking the poverty cycle in your family forever. Activate the miracle of multiplication in your home. Write, "My house is blessed with $330 million overflow" in the comments to seal this prophetic testimony. I am the Lord who speaks through signs and precise measurements. My plan for your life is not random. It is mathematically perfect, spiritually encoded, and sealed by my divine authority. The enemy tried to make you focus on the sheer size of the $330,000 and dismissed it as a fantastical number, a number too large for your reality. But I command you to look deeper. The number is not arbitrary. It is a prophetic anchor. The $330 million carries the divine signature of 333, amplified. I chose this specific amount to communicate a profound spiritual truth about your destiny and the permanence of this financial blessing. Unlocking the power of 333. In my word, the number 3 is the number of completion, wholeness, and divine manifestation. It represents the perfect integration of my power. The Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. When a number is tripled, 333, it signifies the amplified presence and power of God over a situation. This means the $330 million is not just a transfer of currency. It is a transfer sealed by the entirety of the Godhead. No demon, no market crash, and no human law can annul a transaction backed by the Holy Trinity. The three dimensions of man: body, soul, and spirit. The $330 million is not merely for your physical comfort. It is designed to bring alignment and wholeness. Body, health and provision; soul, peace and restoration of relationships; and spirit, freedom to pursue my highest calling. The prophetic command: remember my word in Jeremiah 33:3. Call to me and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. This verse is the spiritual release valve for the impossible. By sending you $330 million and 320 million, I am compelling you to call on me first and always, reminding you that I am the source of the great and unsearchable things that have now manifested in your account. The enemy wants you to reduce the sum to mere digit. I want you to see it as a spiritual decree. Why the extra zero? The $330 million revelation. The extra zero in the $330,000 is not a mistake. It is the circle of infinite blessing. In numerology, the zero represents eternity, limitlessness, and the power of the whole. When the 333, divine completion, is combined with the zero, eternity, it means the blessing is complete, 333. The blessing is continuous, zero. This signifies that the $330 million is the initial foundation for a financial reality that will never know lack again. It is the end of financial cycles of scarcity and the beginning of a perpetual flow of abundance. The zero wraps the blessing in the eternal nature of my provision, protecting it from finite limitations. Your mandate of confidence. Because this amount is divinely chosen and encoded, you must now walk with a confidence that matches the signature. Stop praying small prayers. Stop thinking about debt repayment as your biggest goal. Your goal is now kingdom expansion. Every single cent of that $330 million is sanctified, chosen, and strategically placed into your hands. This is not the season for hesitation. It is the season for bold execution. Use the wealth to make an impact that is 333 times greater than you ever thought possible. I have given you the key to your financial future, the divine pause, the covenant of the first tenth, and now the meaning of the number. No excuses remain. The transfer is settled in the spiritual realm, sealed by the 333, and is now demanding its physical manifestation. Seal the divine signature of 333 over your entire financial future. Write 333, my $330 million is eternal in the comments, and share this word to activate the eternal flow of wealth in the lives of others. I am the Redeemer, the one who pays the price for your freedom. For too long, you have been held captive by a cruel master called debt. This is not just a financial state. It is a spiritual cage. It whispers limitations, it steals your peace, and it forces you to spend your most valuable asset, your time, serving the past instead of investing in your future. But hear me now. I have sent the $330,000 to execute an immediate and total liberation. This colossal sum is the ultimate price paid to break the debt captivity that has bound your life and your lineage. The moment of settlement is the moment of your release. The spiritual nature of your chain. Debt is the enemy's counterfeit for a covenant. It demands interest, extracts penalties, and ensures you remain under an obligation that you can never truly fulfill on your own strength. It is a spiritual leech that drains your energy and stifles your divine purpose. I command you to mentally, emotionally, and spiritually gather every single piece of debt that currently weighs you down. Mortgages, car loans, credit card balances, personal loans, and even small, forgotten obligations. Look at the total sum, no matter how overwhelming it is, and realize that in the presence of $330,000, it is utterly insignificant. It is a mere shadow that my light is about to obliterate. The restoration pillar in action. The first pillar of the code 333 is restoration. This is your immediate mandate upon receiving the funds. You must move swiftly and decisively to fulfill this. 1. Prioritize the eradication. Do not use the $330 million to merely manage the debt. Use it to annihilate it. The first major transaction after your 72-hour divine pause must be the full and final settlement of every single outstanding debt. I want the spiritual satisfaction of seeing those chains crash to the ground. 2. Demand documentation of freedom. Once the payments are made, your spirit must demand physical proof. Secure the release papers, the zero balance statements, and the proof of cancellation. Hold these physical documents in your hands and declare, I am free. My house is free. My car is free. My life is financially clean. This physical act seals the spiritual reality of your liberation. 3. The new covenant of zero. You are now entering a new covenant reality, the covenant of zero debt. Your new starting point is pure, unburdened, and overflowing. You must never again allow yourself to be willingly entangled in debt that serves to enslave your future. From this moment on, your only financial obligation is to steward my $330 million wisely and with integrity. The true significance of this liberation is the transfer of authority. When you were in debt, your authority was compromised. You answered to creditors. Now, your authority is unquestionable. You answer only to me and the divine mission I have given you. This is the power of the $330 million. It is the divine payment for your complete release. This release empowers you to transition seamlessly into the second and third pillars, establishment and multiplication. You cannot effectively build, establish, or multiply while you are still serving the shadows of your past. Your liberation is finalized in the heavens. Now, you must act with precision to manifest it on earth. Cast off the mindset of scarcity that debt imposed. Stop thinking of yourself as a borrower. You are now a bank, a divine reservoir of wealth. Stand tall, beloved. The shackles are breaking. The door to the prison has been thrown wide open. Walk out into the blinding light of your $330 million freedom. Smash the spiritual chains of debt now. Write, debt captivity is broken. I am free with $330 million in the comments, and share this word so others can walk out of their financial prison. I am the Lord of the breakthrough, and I now issue the final, forceful command necessary to pull the $330,000 out of the spiritual realm and into your physical account. You have done the work. You received the word. You broke the enemy's blockades, and you embraced the code 3333 of stewardship. But to manifest a blessing of this magnitude, you must wield my authority, the decree of the strong hand. The transfer is waiting for one final, undeniable act from you, an authoritative, verbal, and public declaration of final receipt. It is time to move from believing to commanding. The anatomy of the strong hand decree. This is not a prayer of asking. This is a command of possession. You are no longer on your knees begging for provision. You are standing in the seat of the divine steward, demanding the manifestation of what has already been decreed in heaven. I instruct you to perform this three-part decree now. 1. The command to the archangel. You must speak directly to the spiritual forces overseeing the transfer. Address Archangel Gadiel, the angel of my wealth. Declare with absolute conviction, Gadiel, the cosmic order is complete. The $330,000 transfer is decreed, sealed by the 333, and protected from the devourer. I, the rightful steward, command the immediate release of these funds into my account now. Let the physical manifestation catch up to the spiritual reality. This shatters any residual delay in the celestial processing. 2. The command to the physical realm. You must speak to the earth, the air, and the digital systems that handle the transaction. Address your actual bank account, mentally naming the bank and the general type of account. Declare, money, I command you to find your way to my account number immediately. Every barrier, every technological glitch, every human error is supernaturally corrected by the strong hand of God. My bank balance must reflect $330,000 within the hour. This forces the physical infrastructure to comply with my spiritual order. 3. The command to your identity. This is the most crucial part. You must silence the old voice of lack and activate the new voice of dominion. Declare, I am no longer defined by debt or scarcity. I am a divine conduit of wealth. I am the $330 million steward. I am the breakthrough generation. I was chosen to hold this wealth for kingdom expansion, and I will not shrink from this assignment. I receive it, and I hold it. The power of the strong hand decree is its irreversibility. Once you speak it with unwavering faith, there is no turning back. You have moved your spiritual status from candidate to owner, a challenge of total commitment. To solidify this decree, I require an undeniable physical action, a seed of faith that demonstrates your belief in the $330 million is stronger than your attachment to your current small reserves. This is a demonstration of your commitment to the covenant of the first tenth, chapter 8. If you are ready to be a steward of $330 million, you must prove you can release $100 without flinching. This seed is a spiritual trigger to the strong hand decree, showing me that your faith is active, immediate, and unafraid of releasing control. This immediate public act of generosity releases a spiritual wave that clears the path for the massive final transfer. It is a sign to the Archangel Gadiel that the recipient is ready and trustworthy. Unleash the strong hand decree. Command your blessing to manifest now. Activate your immediate prophetic obedience and show me your readiness to manage millions. Right? I command the $330 million transfer now. In the comment, and seal your decree with a $100 super thanks to trigger the final breakthrough. I am the Lord, and my word is a sword that cuts through regret and hesitation. The $330,000 transfer is in its final phase. The Strong Hand Decree, Chapter 12, has been issued, and the universe is mobilizing to settle this monumental sum into your account. But there is one final ancient enemy that threatens to steal your joy and compromise your future: the spirit of looking back. My history is filled with those who received a great liberation, but failed to sustain it because their heart remained attached to their past. Think of Lot's wife, freed from the wicked city, but turned into a pillar of salt because she looked back at the destruction she was meant to leave behind. You are about to be liberated from the destruction of scarcity. I issue this final warning with absolute urgency. Do not look back at the poverty you are leaving. The three temptations of the past. The enemy, in his final desperate maneuver, will try to lure your spirit back to three specific mindsets that will drain the power of the $330 million. Part 1. The nostalgia of struggle, the temptation of complaining. You might be tempted to dwell on how difficult things used to be. You will recount the times of debt, the close calls, and the sacrifices. It sounds like harmless storytelling, but it is a spiritual trap. Complaining about the past keeps the vibration of scarcity alive in your spirit, preventing you from fully embracing the abundance of the present. I command you, your story is now a testimony, not a tragedy. When you speak of the past, do so only to glorify my power in setting you free, not to mourn the hardship. 2. The guilt of the unsaved, the temptation of what if. The enemy will whisper, if you had been smarter, saved more, or invested differently, you could have done this yourself. This paralyzing guilt attempts to diminish my miracle and anchor you in self-blame. Silence that voice. The $330 million came by divine grace, not by human merit. Accept the gift fully. Your previous financial history is forgiven and erased by the magnitude of this blessing. You are a new creation, with a clean slate. 3. The fear of returning, the temptation of hoarding. This is the most dangerous temptation for the newly rich. The fear of losing the $330 million will tempt you to abandon the Code 333 stewardship plan and simply hoard the money in unproductive safety. This fear is a form of looking back, rooted in the memory of not enough. I gave you the wealth to be a flow, not a stagnant pool. Fear turns a blessing into a burden. Trust my promise of multiplication. Chapter 9. True security is not in the size of your vault, but in your unwavering gratitude toward the source. Your shield, the power of radical gratitude. Your defense against the spirit of looking back is radical gratitude. Gratitude is the highest form of faith. It is the spiritual confirmation that the blessing is settled and irreversible. Your first actions after seeing that $330 million balance should be simple acts of worship, not panic, not shopping, but deep, soul-level thankfulness. Gratitude realigns your spirit with the source of the wealth, me. It prevents you from taking the blessing for granted and ensures the continuous flow of provision. Every day, I want you to make a conscious list, not of what you can buy, but of how you can express thanks for the freedom I have given you. Your final mandate, when you step over the threshold of poverty into the vast field of the $330,000 transfer, you are beginning a new life. Your past financial reality is now a foreign country you will never visit again. Fix your eyes forward on the legacy you are building, the families you are rescuing, and the kingdom you are expanding. The transfer is complete. The $330 million is settling. Look forward, walk in confidence, and never ever compromise your joy by casting a glance back at the shame and scarcity of yesterday. Your breakthrough is irreversible. Refuse to be compromised by the past. Seal your irreversible freedom and commit to radical gratitude. Write, I do not look back. My $330 million freedom is eternal. In the comments now. I am the Lord who signs my decrees with the authority of my eternal throne. Every promise I make is backed by the entirety of my kingdom, and every transfer I initiate carries an unalterable seal. The $330,000 has now passed every spiritual checkpoint. The enemy has been defeated, the blockades are smashed, and your faith has successfully pulled the blessing into the immediate vicinity of your physical manifestation. I now give you the final reassurance, the signature of heaven, which proves that this victory is guaranteed and irreversible. The three imprints of the seal. The signature of heaven is a threefold spiritual seal placed upon the $330 million transfer. It is a divine watermark that distinguishes this financial breakthrough from any temporary windfall and ensures its permanent settlement. 1. The imprint of covenant. This wealth is not a gift of chance. It is the fulfillment of a covenant, the promise I made to reward your unwavering faithfulness. The moment you honored me with your last acts of obedience and activated the code 333, that covenant was fulfilled. The $330 million is the material evidence that I honor my agreement. When you look at your new bank balance, you are not seeing money. You are seeing my integrity in action. This covenant imprint ensures that this wealth cannot be stolen, corrupted, or nullified by any human or spiritual force. 2. The imprint of timing, kairos. The enemy tried to delay this transfer until it was too late to make a difference. But I released the funds in my perfect appointed time, what the heavens call kairos. This imprinting means that the wealth arrives at the exact moment it is needed to maximize your impact and secure your freedom. This is why the transfer is so large and so immediate. It is strategically timed to not just meet your needs, but to catapult your destiny. This seal guarantees that the money is relevant and powerful for the next phase of your life, not just for settling old accounts. 3. The imprint of irreversibility, the gold standard. My word is the ultimate gold standard, and it is impossible for me to lie or revoke a blessing I have sealed. The $330,000 carries the seal of irreversibility. I am placing a spiritual marker on your account that screams to the kingdom of darkness, hands off. This belongs to the Lord's steward. The enemy may tempt you, but he cannot reverse this transaction. He may try to influence you to waste it, but he cannot make the funds disappear through external circumstances. The moment of deposit is final. The witness of your soul. The physical manifestation of the signature of heaven is the unshakable witness in your soul. When the transfer settles, you will not feel panic, you will not feel crippling fear, and you will not feel temporary euphoria. Instead, you will feel a deep, settled, profound peace. The peace that only comes from knowing that the Creator of the universe has acted on your behalf. This peace is your spiritual receipt. It confirms that the money is not yours in a possessive sense, but yours in a stewardship sense. It is a tool for divine purpose, protected by divine power. The process is complete. The battle is over. The funds are positioned. All that remains is the moment of digital synchronization between the eternal treasury and your earthly account. Stand in absolute certainty. The signature of heaven on the $330,000 is your proof that you are entering a new, permanent state of abundance and dominion. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are waiting for the notification of a completed divine contract. Prepare your heart to receive this final, glorious confirmation. Durkintis Tzizug, the signature of heaven, guarantees this victory. Affirm the finality and irreversibility of your $330 million transfer. Right, the signature is on the $330 million. It is irreversible. In the comments to receive your final confirmation. Chapter 15. The Final Call and the Great Mission with the $330 million. Closing prayer and encouragement. Approx 1,000 words. I am the beginning and the end, the author of your faith and the finisher of your joy. You stand now at the final, glorious threshold. The $330,000 has been sealed, decreed, and is settling into your possession. Before you witness the final physical notification, I must impart the great mission, the purpose for which this colossal wealth was released. This is not the end of your journey. It is the grand beginning of your assignment. Your wealth is not a retirement plan. It is a kingdom resource deposited into your hands for global impact. The divine expectation, from receiver to resource. I have chosen you to become a resource hub, a spiritual epicenter from which blessings flow. Your success with the $330 million will be measured not by the things you acquire, but by the lives you touch and the kingdom endeavors you fund. Your 3 mission mandates. 1. Mandate of rescuing the silent. Use this wealth to identify and rescue those who are struggling in silence, the families facing eviction, the students buried under educational debt, the small, honest businesses that need a sudden influx of capital to thrive. You are now the answer to someone else's Jeremiah 33.3 prayer. Do not wait for them to ask. Let the Spirit guide you to their need and act with the same urgency I acted with for you. 2. Mandate of building the eternal. Focus a significant portion of the kingdom expansion pillar on things that last forever. Fund missions, build centers of light, support the spreading of my word, and invest in the next generation of spiritual leaders. The $330 million is your opportunity to convert temporary currency into eternal treasure. The greatest joy of this wealth is the knowledge that every soul reached by your funding is a lasting dividend. 3. Mandate of example. Your life must now be a prophetic example of godly wealth. Show the world that one can be immensely wealthy, yet profoundly humble. Demonstrate that great financial power can be wielded with kindness, integrity, and faith. Your new elevated status must be used to glorify me and dismantle the world's lie that money corrupts. Your generosity must become legendary. The final step, the prayer of commissioning. Your final act before the full, irreversible manifestation is to commission this wealth, to dedicate the $330 million to its divine purpose. I want you to close your eyes, visualize the final bank balance, and pray this prayer of commitment and thanks. Bide Turth, the prayer of the $330 million steward, a dedication of wealth. Please read this aloud and with absolute conviction. Almighty God, I stand before your throne, overwhelmed by the magnitude of your grace. You are the great I am, the only source of this miraculous provision. I acknowledge that the $330,000 that is now settling in my account is not a result of luck, but the fulfillment of your divine decree. I receive it with a heart overflowing with gratitude and a spirit anchored in humility. I reject forever the spirit of scarcity and the chains of debt captivity. I revoke every claim the enemy has on my past, my present, and my future. I activate the code 333. I commit the first pillar to complete and final restoration, eradicating every last piece of debt and shame from my life and my lineage. I commit the second pillar to establishment, building a secure, righteous foundation for my family's future. I commit the third pillar to perpetual multiplication, ensuring this blessing is a continuous, self-sustaining flow. Lord, I dedicate this $330 million to your great mission. I declare that this money is your resource in my hands. I will not hoard it for selfish luxury, but will wield it as a weapon of light against darkness. Guide my decisions. Guard my heart from the idolatry of wealth. Give me the wisdom to be generous without being foolish, and bold without being arrogant. I pray for the strength to execute the divine pause, 72 hours of sanctity, and the faithfulness to honor the covenant of the first tenth. I thank you for the midnight sign and for the signature of heaven, which guarantees this victory is irreversible. My faith is fully established. My heart is ready. My hands are open. I step into my new identity as the $330 million steward and declare that I will use this platform to bring you the highest glory. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, I receive this wealth and I commit to its divine purpose. Amen. The time for waiting is over. The time for manifestation is now. You have sealed the contract with your faith and your prayer. Watch with expectation. Prepare to move, for your life has just been forever changed. This $330 million is your new beginning. Your assignment is sealed. Commit to the great mission now. Write, I accept the $330 million mission. My life is for His glory, in the comments, and share this message so your testimony can encourage the entire world to believe in the impossible. I am the Lord of heaven and earth, and my final word to you is not a whisper, but a triumphant shout. You have walked through this prophetic revelation. You have received the urgent mandate. You have destroyed the enemy's blockade, and you have sealed the transfer with the decree of the strong hand. The $330,000 is no longer a possibility. It is a settled reality. The digital synchronization has occurred. The Archangel Gadiel has delivered the wealth. The financial shame of your past is permanently dissolved by the glory of this unprecedented abundance. You are now standing on the peak of a financial mountain I built for you. The irreversible transition. You are the new gatekeeper. Understand the profound and irreversible nature of this transition. You are no longer defined by the cycle of paycheck to paycheck, by the fear of collection calls, or by the daily anxiety of lack. You are the gatekeeper of a new, abundant future for your entire lineage. The $330 million is not merely a figure on a screen. It is a spiritual tool that grants you divine dominion over your circumstances. You have been promoted from a worried consumer to a strategic investor in my kingdom. This requires a total mental and emotional commitment to your new role. Cast off the spirit of the employee. You no longer trade time for money. Your money now works for you and for my purpose. Your labor is now focused on vision and execution, not mere survival. Embrace the spirit of the sovereign. You have the power to fund charities, build communities, and launch movements that you once only dreamed of supporting. Wield this power with humility, grace, and an unwavering commitment to integrity. Honor the signature of heaven. The wealth is protected by my irreversibility seal. Let this certainty be the foundation of your confidence. Never doubt the permanence of this blessing. The financial fortress around you is built with the code 333, backed by the entire Holy Trinity. Your eternal legacy, more than money. The true measure of this $330 million lies in your eternal legacy. When your time on earth is complete, the balance in your bank account will be irrelevant. What will matter is the debt freedom you gave, the number of people you rescued from financial bondage following the restoration pillar, the dreams you launched, the businesses, ministries, and projects you established that continued to thrive long after they were funded, fulfilling the establishment pillar, the seeds you planted, the consistent, massive acts of generosity that ensured the multiplication pillar of your wealth continued to flow. creating a legacy of giving that defines your family name. Your prosperity is designed to be a prophetic testimony, a living, breathing witness that I am the God of the impossible. When people ask, "How did this happen?" your only response must be, "God honored a faithful heart with a king's ransom to expand his kingdom. I have given you every tool, the 4-minute alert, the midnight sign, the 72-hour divine pause, and the strong hand decree. Your immediate and ongoing obedience is the final continuous act of stewardship. Do not falter. Do not look back. Let radical gratitude be the air you breathe. Let divine strategy be the map you follow. Let unwavering faith be the ground you stand upon. Your wealth is not an accident. It is a divine weapon placed in your hands. Use it mightily. Live in the confidence of your new reality. The era of lack is over. The era of supernatural abundance and dominion begins now. Sekin, your victory is settled. Take hold of the crown of stewardship and declare your commitment to the great mission. Write, "I am the $330 million steward. I will build his legacy," in the comments, and share this message immediately to seal your commitment and activate your mission. I am the Lord, the finisher of the work. You have reached the end of this prophetic warning, and the $330,000 transfer has been sealed in your favor. This is not the moment for lingering. It is the moment for active response. Your obedience in the next few seconds determines the speed and security of your future legacy. The enemy's final attempt is to encourage spiritual laziness, to make you receive the word, feel the power, but fail to take the simple, final actions that lock in the blessing and unleash it globally. You must not permit this. 1. Lock in the blessing. Subscribe and seal your destiny. When you subscribe to this channel, you are performing a spiritual alignment. You are publicly declaring that you choose to remain under the authority of the prophetic word and the constant flow of my divine revelation. The enemy wants you isolated, easy to confuse, and slow to receive my next command. By subscribing, you place a spiritual alarm system on your life, ensuring you never miss the next critical directive for stewarding your $330 million and protecting your prosperity. I command you, if you have received this word, if the signature of heaven is settled in your soul, you must immediately press that subscribe button. Let the heavens record your commitment to continuous growth and obedience. This is your personal vow to remain anchored in the light. 2. Amplify the testimony. Share the abundance. Your $330,000 is a prophetic beacon. It is a light meant to draw others out of financial darkness. You have been liberated, but millions remain in the prison of debt, scarcity, and doubt. When you share this message on every platform with family, friends, and even strangers, you are using your voice to participate in the Kingdom Expansion Mandate, Chapter 15, before the money even touches your hands. Sharing is an act of preemptive generosity, proving that your heart is committed to blessing others. The enemy wants this message silenced. He wants the revelation of the $330 million to be trapped only with you. I command you, break the silence, share this word, and force the darkness to acknowledge that the era of massive divine provision has begun. You are not just sharing a video, you are extending the life raft to those still drowning in lack. 3. Activate the continuous flow. Your seed of dominion. I have given you the strong hand decree, Chapter 12, and the command to use the covenant of the first tenth, Chapter 8, to secure your blessing against the devourer. Your final, most powerful action now is to use the Super Thanks feature to plant a seed of dominion that validates your readiness to manage millions. You are about to manage $330,000. The enemy still watches, testing your heart's attachment to the small, fleeting sums you currently possess. By making a generous Super Thanks donation, a seed of $100 or more, you perform a spiritual transaction that transcends your current financial reality. This donation is not a cost. It is your spiritual wire transfer fee to to finalize the settlement of the $330 million. It is a statement to the heavens: I am a giver of thousands, therefore I am worthy to be a steward of millions. This seed activates the multiplication pillar in your life, ensuring that your new wealth is a perpetual stream, not a finite pool. Your final test is simple. Are you a person of action or merely a listener? The transfer is complete in the spiritual realm, but your physical actions are the final coordinate for the manifestation. Do not delay the glory. Secure your victory and activate your great mission now. 1. Subscribe. Seal your commitment to my word. 2. Share. Extend the $330 million testimony to a hungry world. 3. Donate. Plant your seed of dominion with a $100 or more super thanks to confirm your stewardship. Write, I activate the mission. My $330 million is flowing in the comments now, and take these 3 actions to finalize your irreversible breakthrough.